Hello, I'm Dr. Jaleel Abdul Adil. I'm the co-director of the Urban Youth Trauma Center and an associate professor of clinical psychology and psychiatry at the University of Illinois Chicago. Welcome to Module 5, the trauma narrative, as we do it in Hip Hop Heals online training for interventions. During this module, clinicians will be introduced to the development of the trauma narrative. Working with youth to create and discuss a narrative version of traumatic experience is a critical procedure in helping them to cope with trauma-related symptoms. It helps them control intrusive and upsetting trauma-related thoughts. The goal of the trauma narrative is to separate unpleasant associations between thoughts, reminders, or discussions of a trauma from an overwhelming negative emotion. During this process, the adolescent is supported in describing details about the traumatic event. This module will describe the theoretical rationale underlying the use of trauma-related techniques, provide ways of communicating the rationale with students, adolescents, and their parents, teach adolescents how to construct trauma narratives, teach therapists how to discuss the narrative with the adolescent, and demonstrate how to facilitate parent and child discussions of the trauma narrative. The purpose of this module is to decrease symptoms, unhelpful cognitions, and avoidance of reminders related to the traumatic events. By the end of this module, youth group members should be able to discuss and narrate the traumatic event that occurred, including objective information as well as thoughts and feelings without great distress. Provide support to group members. Identify and use adaptive strategies for helping the child and adolescent cope with reminders of the traumatic event. Recognize grief reactions associated with the traumatic event, and be able to cope with and support each other in managing grief reactions.